So the second type of installation of your hurricane panels, you will have a H track at the top of the window and an F track at the bottom to install your panels. For this application, you're going to want to have some bolts just like this. Now the number of bolts needed on your hurricane panels, if you'll notice at the bottom, there are 3 holes. You will not use the center hole. You will only use the outside holes. So for this window, it requires 5 hurricane panels to be installed. So we will need 6 bolts with 6 wing nuts. You will always need the number of panels plus 1 for nuts and bolts of this application. You're simply going to slide this hex head bolt into your F-track panel here at the bottom. Spread them out approximately a foot across. As you're installing, you can spread these while you're installing your panels and going. Simply take your hurricane panel. Now the end that has no holes is going to go up inside of the track up top. The other end you're going to be putting through there and installing them here. Now these panels will overlap, so you're going to want to put only 1 wing nut on to lock it down. The next panel, you're going to overlap in there, slide it up inside, and it shares the end there. And then put a wing nut on and lock it down. You will then again take the next panel, slide it in, overlap again, share the wing nut and bolt. Take the next panel, it locks in, and then we will take the very last panel and this is where the last panel will have the 1 extra wing nut and bolt. It will lock down. And now folks, your window is completely covered, and that's what it should look like. Now in some instances, your system is going to require a half a panel here at the end. So if that is the case, we're going to take 1 panel down. If yours was to require a half a panel, you're going to overlap this 1 panel with the end unit. So when it comes off, we're going to then overlap the panel halfway. You then would require to use the center hole that's here so that it can lock the panel down. Install this where you're overlapping into the top. It can be a little tight at first. Then you will have everything in. And now you have a wing nut on 2 end panels. This is just the installation to show you of a half a panel, how to install it if you require it. If you have a lot of track left over and you have a hole where you can see your window, a half panel is not needed for your application. If the whole panel is overlapping the end and it is flapping and you cannot get a wing nut through the end of your panel here, that means you require a half a panel's installation. Then when the storm is over, just properly take your wing nuts back off, put them in your box, pull your panels down, and store your panels.